Hey guys! Do you want to know 5 zodiac signs that are difficult to date? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about top 5 zodiac signs that are difficult to date. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we get started, please make sure you watch the video until the end, so you can find top 5 zodiac signs that are difficult to date. And also subscribe with the notification bell turned on so you can get notified anytime we upload a new video. If you ask my boyfriend whether or not I am a hard person to date, he would probably say yes. I tend to use "I don't care" as my answer to pretty much anything he asks me. But I like to think that it's just because I really don't care what we do, as long as we do it together. But no. He would rather me tell him exactly where I want to eat and what I want to watch on Netflix. Even though I really don't care. Okay, I do care sometimes, but not always. I do get where he's coming from, though. Sometimes, I really can't choose and we sit there asking each other what the other person wants to do on Friday night without ever choosing anything. But does that really make me difficult to date? Actually, don't answer that. There are other zodiac signs besides my own sign that are also difficult to date. But these other signs aren't frustrating just because they want to make sure their partner gets a chance to choose the movie every once in a while. In fact, there are a lot of ways you can be considered the most difficult zodiac sign to date, and some of those ways aren't great. Maybe you're too bossy instead of not being bossy enough. Or you get too caught up in your emotions that you're always ready for a fight or crying over something small. Or maybe you just don't care enough. Clearly, there's a lot of reasons someone could be hard to date, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't date them at all. It just means you have to know the potential risks before putting all your eggs in one basket. Because while some signs are cute when they can't choose what they want to do on the weekend, others are just a giant headache who can make you regret dating them in the first place. I'm not naming any zodiac signs in particular, though, because it's not necessarily about them. It's more about their personality when it comes to dating. And while I'm not condoning these challenging astrology traits that make them seem too crazy to date, we all have reasons for being a little difficult, so you can't always judge us for being ourselves. At least, that's my excuse. So, if you've ever wanted to know if you're one of these zodiac signs, or if you think you might already be dating one of them, keep reading for the signs who are the most difficult to date, based on your horoscope. Number 5. Aquarius, January 20th to February 18th. Aquarius is a very independent sign. So much so, in fact, that you could say he's independent to a fault. He's naturally a very private and aloof person, preferring to be on his own instead of being vulnerable in front of someone else. Of course, that doesn't make him seem mysterious like he wants, but rather cold and distant. It's understandable that Aquarius would want to protect himself from getting hurt or being misunderstood, but it still makes him insanely hard to date. His aloof attitude and the fact that he doesn't care about letting people see the real him also makes him impossible to read or understand. Even though that's exactly what he wants. Number 4. Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th. In all honesty, Capricorn would probably be easier to date if he weren't so cautious all the time. His practical nature might be great in other situations. But love is about taking risks and putting yourself out there even when you might get your heart broken. But for Capricorn, it's much easier to tread lightly. Which doesn't really make him seem careful so much as it makes him seem stingy with love. Capricorn is also very businesslike when he does date. It can feel more like you're on an interview than a date because he's very methodical. And almost robotic when getting to know you, almost as if he were just going through the motions. He trusts his head much more than he trusts his heart, and would rather think than feel when it comes to love. Number 3. Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. Sagittarius is not a big fan of commitment, first of all. It makes him feel like he's tied to someone forever instead of just getting to know a friend on a more intimate basis, if you want to get technical. So, right away he's difficult to date because he doesn't have high hopes from the beginning. He also loves the chase more than he loves the catching the person he's chasing. Sagittarius would rather flirt and keep things casual instead of get serious with someone because it's much more comfortable for him. It also plays right into his personality, which is often seen as flighty and impulsive. You could say he was never cut out for the dating life to begin with. Number 2. Scorpio, October 23rd to November 21st. Scorpio is very hot and cold when it comes to dating. He can be very affectionate and happy to be with you one minute and totally turned off and grumpy the next. It's very hard to keep up with what he's feeling at all times, though he does expect you to. And worse yet, Scorpio is almost impossible to read, which means you're already wrong before he can tell you what he's feeling. Scorpio is naturally distant because he feels like he should protect his heart before opening up to someone, instead letting himself be receptive to love. This makes it so difficult to get through his hard outer shell right away because he goes to such lengths to keep himself safe. And when he's still trying to figure out how he really feels about you, he can be very emotionally erratic and unpredictable. Number 1. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. Virgo is a very self-sufficient sign who doesn't really think there's anything he can't get in a relationship from himself. When dating him, it can feel almost like you're on trial. He can be very inquisitive and curious, but not really in a good way. More like trying to figure out what the catch is so he can dump you already. Virgo is also very judgmental and distant. He would rather keep you at arm's length instead of let you in completely because it makes him feel better to know he's in charge. It's almost impossible to get him to open up because he feels like he doesn't deserve to just let go of control. Make sure you stay watching our next related video to discover more amazing videos. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comments box below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.